Hey, Terry Troyer, station coordinator, right here at 91.1 WHFC. We'd like you to join us for our spring membership drive, March 6th through the 13th. You can join us by pledging. Pledge what you can. We really appreciate every dollar that you give us because it goes right back into our student learning lab, and that's where we train all of our future broadcasters here at 91.1 WHFC. Pledge right now. Again, the spring membership drive, March 6th through the 13th. WHFC911.org is where you want to go. And thanks for your help.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch
It's probably the least sexy part of work. No. The truth is,
leadership sounds great on paper. Titles, teams, responsibility. But the real work of leadership happens in the moments most people struggle with. Giving honest feedback, having uncomfortable conversations, listening when you're busy, motivating people you've checked out, and earning trust when the pressure's on. My guest today has spent nearly 3 decades living in that space. Ronald Reich is a leadership and management development expert with over 28 years of experience helping leaders, managers, and teams actually work better together, not just at work, but in life. He's coached across diverse industries, facilitated thousands of conversations, and believes deeply that leadership isn't about authority. It's about emotional intelligence, clarity, respect, and connection. Ron doesn't just teach leadership, he involves people in it. He challenges assumptions, brings research to life, and gives practical tools for things leaders face every single day, like disengaged teams, personality clashes, time pressure, and the feeling that no one's really telling the truth in the room. So if you've ever wondered why your team isn't motivated, why people stop listening, or how to build real working relationships that last, this conversation's for you. How's it going, Ron?
Oh, Rich, fine. I mean, I'm smiling because everything you were talking about right there, I was like, yes. Oh, yeah, it's good to be here. It really is.
Yeah, I want to get right into this because I think leadership is missing in a lot of places. I think, and I want to, God, I hate to say it, but with especially with the younger generation, what's the biggest gap you see between how leadership is supposed to work and how it actually shows up day to day?
You know, it's interesting because in the opening statements that you made, or the aspects of leadership. One of the things that I'm noticing is that the younger leaders now seem to have real difficulty giving difficult feedback and having difficult conversations.
Yes.
And I think that's a big part of it. I mean, I'm thinking specifically, I do a lot of work for the American Management Association.
Mm-hmm.
I did a class for them 3 weeks ago, whatever, not long. And one of the participants was younger. She was probably, let's say for argument's sake, right around 35. Okay. She's a manager. And throughout the entire 2-day session, this one person on my team doesn't do her work properly. I have to check everything. Just going on and on. I was like, you need to talk to her. You've got to give her feedback. You need to have a tough conversation with her. And she kept pushing back. She'll cry. It's so hard. She'll cry. And I was like, I'm sorry. That's your job.
Yeah.
That's your job, to have those conversations, not to make her cry. And that's not my point at all here, is that I can help you. I'll help you with the feedback piece. I'll help you to learn how to have a tough conversation. She was afraid to have it because of how the person was going to react. And I was like, you've got to learn these skills, because otherwise you don't belong in this role.
Well, and she was assuming that the person was going to react that way. And that may not have been the case.
Yeah. I tend to think she would have.
Yeah.
I do. I think the employee herself, I think, would have probably reacted that way. And again, Rich, that it's just part of. So much of leadership it's not just one aspect. It's setting expectations. It's letting people know up front, this is the job. This is what I need you to do. And here's a timeline for you. You need to know that if this doesn't get done well, or I'll be checking in with you, I'm going to give you feedback. And if that upsets you, and again, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a smart aleck here. Please, I don't. If you're going to go crying to mommy when I do that, that's on you. Sorry, that's on you. Grow up.
It's funny you mentioned that. I had a business owner on, and I don't know where things changed. But we were talking about interviewing people looking for a job.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the younger generation. I mean, he said he had some guy brought his mother in for the interview.
Yeah.
People showing up in their pajamas for an interview. Yeah. Showing up late. I mean, I was raised, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. Actually, I want you to chime in on this, because I've seen this with businesses, even some of your big corporate companies. And I know this because my daughter worked there. They didn't want you there early. A lot of them want you there when it's your time to start your shift. And that's when you clock in, but not coming in early at all.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. I mean, do you think that could be, I guess in a way, poor leadership? Because I mean,
yeah, I think a lot of it too, though, Rich, ties into the culture of these organizations. And again, going back to the word that I used earlier, for me, this is such a huge part of leadership. And this is whether it is for a department, for an individual, whatever it might be, is setting clear expectations. Expectations need to be crystal clear. And just as an example, Rich, listen, as you know, if you're a new hire, as you get started with us here, our work hours are 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So I expect you to be here at 8 o'clock, by 8 o'clock every day. And when I say here at 8 o'clock, I mean ready to work. Right. Not coming in the door, going to get coffee and checking in with all your friends. I need you to be ready. And just those types of things, because one of the biggest this is research driven, because I'm also a voracious reader. One of the biggest reasons companies, departments, and individuals fail is because expectations are not clear.
Right.
You never told me that. You didn't tell me I had to check with you first. You never told me I couldn't make a $10,000 decision. Whatever it might be. And it's like everything has to be clear. And then that way, when feedback comes, it's not a surprise.
Yeah. When did all this go downhill?
I think it started. I really, really do, with the younger generations, and that's not. That's not a shot at them either. I don't mean to imply that. When did it start? I'm not sure. I'm really not, because I think and it's such a trickle down effect.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a neighbor who's just a dear friend, and she, her son is struggling with some things right now, and this has happened with other people with whom I've spoken and coached or whatever. And it's like, Heather, you really need to talk to your son about this. And I mean, you need to let him know this behavior is totally unacceptable. I can't do that. I can't do that. He's my son. And I was like,
Wow.
Heather, yeah. And I mean, otherwise the problem is going to continue and it's going to get worse. And I mean, that's a personal thing. And I believe that with all my heart that it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And the same thing is applicable with, excuse me, the same thing is applicable with organizations. And I mean, I love this. And again, it's one of the reasons I love to read so much is I pick, I get these little snippets or whatever. I
Mhm.
read something recently about culture. And the author said the culture in an organization or the culture in a department is the lowest level of acceptable behavior. It's not what you set, it's not what you want it to be, it's the lowest level of acceptable behavior. I want you here at 8 o'clock, Rich. That's the expectation. You're coming in at 8:10, 8:12, whatever, every day. And if I let that go, that's the culture.
I don't get it. In all honesty, I really don't understand it. And I don't know if it started when, well, it definitely started way before COVID.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because I've been out of the corporate world for a while, and I started my own business working for myself in 2012. But even since that time, other companies I've talked to, business owners, I'm seeing it. And
Yeah.
one of the things I have noticed, though, and I'm sure you've been to them, when I was, and I'm going to go back to like when I was doing car sales. We would go to they weren't webinars then because the internet wasn't around. We would go to the seminars, to see like Zig Ziglar and all that, all these great leaders. And we would come back and, pass it on to our sales staff and just get everybody motivated. And I think that has helped a lot. Now I think you see more people focused on networking, going to these networks, and not a lot of these seminars anymore, where you're learning leadership. You're how many and read. I'm glad you mentioned the reading part. I think that's very important. How many leaders have even read anything by, even Dale Carnegie? Let's even go with the Law of Success. I mean, to me, if you're going to be a leader, I think that should be a mandatory thing, to be honest with you.
Joe Paterno made a comment one time that I always remembered. He said, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Yes.
And again, at first I was like, I'm not sure I believe that. And now the more I think about it, that's true for me. And he followed up with as well, because if you're not getting better, your competition is. So therefore, you're getting worse. And I like that. And it just makes sense to me. I mean, I think one of the things that concerns me too in the classes that I facilitate with multiple people, and even just people that I coach one-on-one, very often my observation has been they're learning too much, and that scares me.
Whoa.
Because again, I'm going over some of what I consider to be the basics.
Right.
And they're like, oh my goodness, that's great. Oh my goodness, wow, unbelievable. And I was like, oh my goodness. You've been managing for 11 years and you don't know this?
Yeah.
It's like, ay, ay, ay.
It's scary. All right. So, you've been doing this for, like we said, almost 3 decades. You mentioned the one lady that was afraid to talk to her one employee.
Yes.
And you spoke with her. Do you know what the outcome of that was?
I do not.
Okay.
In fact, Rich, I don't have her contact information simply because because it's a third vendor and everything else, we're not allowed to exchange contact information.
Oh, wow.
I suspect, I don't know. I suspect she wouldn't have that conversation. Or if she did have it, it would have been a very watered down version of what needed to happen.
Wow. Why do you think some people, and I'm sure she's not the only one.
She's not. I guarantee
why do you think
she's
people
not.
are so hard? Why are they struggling to have those conversations? It's needed. I didn't like doing them, but I had to.
Right. Well, and I mean, I'll tell you what. First of all, I have been aware of these feedback models and these difficult conversation models for many, many, many years. And let's be crystal clear about something. I don't like having difficult conversations.
Nobody does.
It's not fun for me,
Right.
except I will do it because otherwise we all pay a price. And that's not okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's so much of it is that everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets a trophy. It's okay. You tried real hard and all this other stuff. And I'll tell you, and I'm old school with this because I'm not a kid by any stretch of the imagination anymore. And one of the greatest leadership experiences I had was so many years ago when I coached Little League. And my friend Scott and I were coaching 13, 14, and 15-year-olds. And we told them flat out, first day, guys, tell you what, we are here to win. We are here to win.
Right.
I want to win every single game we play. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to play hard, we're going to play clean, and we're going to do everything in our power to win. And if we get beat, that's okay, except I'm not okay with, I am okay with losing if we get beat by a better team. And my point simply is, you tried hard, it's okay, don't worry. It's like, no, get your head out of your you-know-what and pay attention to what you're doing.
I do not miss coaching Little League.
I'm not sure I would go back now.
Oh, God. Well, and I'm glad you mentioned that because here's the other thing too. And I'm thinking about that young lady that should have had that difficult conversation. And maybe this is a problem you're seeing with managers, business owners, and leaders. Because nowadays our society has changed so much. And I think a lot of people may be afraid to where all right, I'm just going to give me for an example. Let's say I have to talk to an employee, reprimand them, or I don't want to say reprimand, but have that difficult conversation with them, and it's a young woman. That young woman can easily turn around and say that I said something offensive, did something offensive. Do you think that may be why a lot of people are having those problems?
I do. I think there are so many sub factors involved here. It's incredible, and for whatever reason, I remember this. This was quite a few years ago. Still, not long ago, where it was other generations.
Right.
I was doing an AMA class, and we had done an assessment. It was day 3 of a 3-day class. And I had given the assessment out. Everybody had completed it. And I was just kind of walking around the room looking at the results before we started to debrief it.
Right.
And I said to one of the young ladies, Melissa, whatever her name was, Melissa, can I just see your results for a second? I'm curious to see what they are before we start the debrief. And she was like, no, you're making me uncomfortable.
Huh?
And I was just like, what? What? And, and again, it's just like, where is this coming from?
Right.
And I think, a lot of times though, Rich, yes, is that, everybody is also overly cautious because, I don't want to spur a lawsuit. I don't want to. And again, it's just, and I guess, sometimes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
no, you're fine. Go ahead.
To stop you there. One thing that is kind of occurring to me in the moment too, we can go back to expectations from day one. Rich, and or even just the whole team. Hey, folks, at any point in time, if I'm doing something or if I'm saying anything that's making you uncomfortable, please tell me about it so we can talk about it real time. Because I don't know if anything is making you uncomfortable unless you tell me about it. So it can also become an expectation, except then they need to follow up on that because I can't force people to talk.
Yeah. I was going to say, what's the fix to this? But I mean, that right there, what you just said, is one way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
There needs to be that psychologically safe environment, so that people do feel safe in speaking up. And it's not like, oh, grow up, Rich. I didn't mean anything by that. So, okay, if that bothered you, it bothered you. Let's talk about it. And then I think, and this is where, again, both sides need to understand it's a give and take.
Right.
Because just because you come to me, you made me unhappy with that comment. Okay. That doesn't mean I'm not going to just completely change my behavior either.
Yeah. Well, with the leaders, why do you think it's so hard for leaders to actually really listen, even when they think they are?
I think somebody made a comment one time about how so someone asked, this is a video I saw, whatever it was, how important is listening? Oh, it's critical. Absolutely. You need to learn how to listen effectively. No doubt about it. Who in the audience has ever had any formal training in listening? And no hands go up. and again, I am so fortunate, and I feel so very, very blessed because I'm certified to teach the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Yeah.
Wow.
I've actually been certified on 3 separate occasions for that. And habit 5 from the 7 habits: seek first to understand, then to be understood. And essentially, what the habit's all about is good listening.
Yeah.
It's all about good listening. I want to understand you first, seek first to understand. So when I know what you're talking about, what your perspective is, then it allows me to respond much more appropriately.
Is that still a class?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going down to Orlando in a couple of weeks to do it.
I'm glad you mentioned that. How many people, I mean, because and again, I'm going back in the day, but those classes would sell out. Is it still that way?
I'm certified through AMA. So I teach it for AMA, and it is one of their biggest sellers. Yes.
It should be.
Yeah. There's no doubt. Well, and Rich, part of the part of the overview when I was looking at what your podcast is all about is the overlap of how courses and just everything else impact both professional lives and personal lives.
Yes.
And that's what the 7 Habits is all about. There is complete overlap there. And I love that. I just love that.
All right. So, Ron, because I had no idea that you were certified in that. What else are you certified in that we do not know about? I find that stuff amazing, to be honest with you. I mean, Stephen Covey's another one where it should be mandatory for people to read them.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I got to give a little shout out to him, even though he's been gone now for many years. The first time I got certified out in Utah, the session itself, Monday through Friday, and we were way, way up in the mountains of Utah because it's a very intense week, and they didn't want any distractions and so forth. Stephen stopped by on Friday morning of our training.
Oh, wow.
And we got a chance to talk to him. We had a Q&A with him and so forth. I talked to him one-on-one for about maybe 5-6 minutes. And in context, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. And let me tell you something. He was the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
He was the real deal. He was listening to me. He was with me. He was paying attention. His eyes were not darting. Oh, who else is in the room that I can talk to?
Yeah.
And look at the impression it made on me all these years later.
Because he cares. Or
Exactly.
he cared.
Exactly.
I mean, the same thing that happened with me with Zig Ziglar.
Yeah.
You know, and we went and saw him, and there's a bunch of other speakers, and I paid the extra money to have breakfast. And usually, you know, those things you go to, and they'll come around and say, hi, how you doing? No, he sat down with me. He sat down at our table and actually chatted with us for a while. And there was only about 4 or 5 of us at that table.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
well,
that makes a big difference.
You know, I'll go back because I found this very interesting as well. Probably about a decade now, maybe, something like that. I finished a class in Philadelphia. It was another AMA class, okay? We're finished. People have packed up. Most everybody has left the room. A young lady comes up to me. This was a Friday. Ron, can I ask you a question about work for just a second? Yeah, of course. What is it? So we start chatting. We chatted for maybe 10, 15 minutes, whatever it was. And all of a sudden, she stopped. And she looked at me and she was like, wait a minute. We're finished. Everybody has left. You're not getting paid for this, and you're talking to me. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I don't understand. And I was like, well, number one, I like to think that I'm a nice guy, so I'm glad to do it. Number two, more importantly, to your point, because you used the word, the verb, whatever, I care.
Yeah.
I care. And I mean, what is 15 minutes out of my life if I can help to make you better, help to make your team better,
Exactly.
whatever? That's what it's all about.
Yep. Actually, with teams, because you see this a lot. I guess you do. I don't know. When I work for myself, it's kind of hard to. But with team building, and I'm thinking morale, especially, and motivation, which is very important. But I actually have heard some business owners complain about this, about morale being so low. You know, I cannot motivate my team. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. There is no secret, but any tips on that, how these leaders can motivate their team and keep morale up? Because let's face it, low morale can kill a business.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. One of the biggest things, number one. Actually, let me ask you, Rich, if you don't mind. What do you think are the major reasons employees become unhappy at work?
Oh God, there could be several. I want to say number one is, I want to say that like the owner is, and this happened at a place I did work. He didn't care. It's like you had to make an appointment to talk to him.
Yep.
You know, and that brought down morale.
That's the number one reason. Absolutely.
Okay.
That's it.
I think another thing is, and you see this a lot, where favoritism.
Okay. That ties in as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Education. If
All
you're
these
not
things.
educating your employees, that's
Right.
going to kill it.
Right. The number one reason people become unhappy at work is their relationship with their boss.
Yeah.
The number two reason people become unhappy is their relationship with their peers and their colleagues, their coworkers. The number three reason is a lack of recognition and a lack of respect. The point is that there's no separation between those three things, meaning people become unhappy with their boss because the boss is not providing enough recognition or respect to his or her direct reports. People get frustrated. People become unhappy. Favoritism. I'm not getting trained. How about a thank you? How about whatever it might be? And then along with that, I'll ask you another question.
Sure.
Do we all come to work for the same reasons?
No.
Absolutely not. Point being, what I always recommend to my clients, how can I motivate people? Ask them. Simply ask them. I like to recommend 3 different questions. What do you love about your job? Number one, so that you're starting to get into, okay, those are the kind of assignments I need to give Rich. That's what he's
Right.
passionate about. What frustrates you about the team? Okay, fine. Now I'm getting into, some of, maybe some of the disconnects,
Right.
whatever it might be. Last and not least, how do you like to be recognized?
Okay.
And I mean, again, it's just because everybody's so individual. It's like, let's have a picnic. I hate picnics. And again, I'm just taking that out of the air. It's just like,
Yeah.
we'll give you more money. We have Bagel Friday or, whatever. And it's like, it doesn't matter to everybody. You've got to find out each individual. And I mean, it's not exactly applicable, except to me, it's still, I'll try to tie it in if I can.
Sure.
An old mentor of mine made a comment to me one day that I never forgot. He's like, Ron, anytime you are doing a session, whether you are talking about a topic or whether people are doing an activity, whatever it might be, I expect you to be on 24/7. And he said, the reason I'm saying that, Ron, whatever you're covering is important to somebody in that room. It won't be important to everybody. It's important to somebody, and they deserve your best at every moment. And I never forgot that. And that to me
Makes
ties
sense.
into the motivational piece where it's like, the bagels will be important to a couple people. Great. Not everybody.
Right.
I want to thank you. Can you please include me in more meetings? Could you please, whatever it might be, if you learn these things.
You're listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. If you're looking to grow your business in Harford County, look no further than the Harford County Chamber of Commerce. With over 700 members, they're dedicated to helping local businesses succeed. From networking events to business resources, they provide the support you need to thrive. Join today and start making valuable connections in your community. I did it. It's the best move I ever made and definitely the best chamber I've ever been a member of. Visit harfordchamber.org to learn more. The Harford County Chamber of Commerce is your partner in business success. One of the biggest problems I had, because this one company I worked for, I was a manager. And there were certain things I wanted to implement and with the employees to keep the morale up and keep the motivation up.
Yeah.
But the owner absolutely would not allow me to do stuff like that.
Right.
How can leaders get around something like that? I mean, I know how I got around it, but how can leaders get around something like that?
Sometimes, and again, it depends on truly the culture and just everything else. There are times I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
There are, as long as it's not, anything that's going to be dangerous or completely opposite to what my boss is thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes what I will do is just like, hey, you know what? This is the problems it's causing. By having low morale, these are the issues we have.
Yeah.
This is what it's ultimately costing us. And what I'm trying to do, just for argument's sake, it's assume we lose one person a year because of this. Okay, that's going to cost us probably at least $50,000. With salary and just turnover costs, recruiting, blah 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 blah, all that other stuff. And what I want to implement is $10,000. We just gained $40,000, boss. And
wow.
And again, my point. One of the other things you can always do too is, okay, if you're my boss, Ron, no, I don't want you doing that. Absolutely not. Okay, Rich, you're in charge, and I get that. One thing here, how can we revisit this in a few months?
Mm-hmm.
Could we revisit this? One of the other things you can do too, and again, this can be a little risky or whatever you want to call it here, is again, Ron, no, I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. It runs counter to what I believe in. Again, whatever.
Right.
Point is, Rich, okay, if that's the way you want to do it, it's your company, of course. I just want this on the record. It doesn't have to be written down necessarily still. I want it on the record that you and I had this conversation because I'm concerned I'm going to lose people off of my team, and I don't want you blaming me for that.
I like that. Yeah. The leader's got to speak up. You got to speak up to the head cheese, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Well, and it's very, very often when you have the guts to speak up, you can also get surprised in a good way.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was thinking about this the other day for some reason, many, many years ago, working for Toshiba. Okay.
I used to work there.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
Many years ago, we were out in California. The training team was in California for a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Our boss, Barbara, we were talking about, whatever it was. And it was a little odd because in 2 weeks out, we were coming back to California again, which was unusual. I don't remember the whole situation here. My point, though, in that initial meeting, Barbara made the comment, okay, guys, here's the deal. Let's table this right now. We'll talk about it first thing in 2 weeks on that Monday morning when we come back. And we had not yet agreed when that second meeting was going to start.
Mm-hmm.
And when she said, oh, well, on that Monday morning, we all just kind of looked at each other and like, there goes another weekend because it means we've got to fly to California on Sunday. My friend Rob, and we were not getting along with Barbara at the time, our boss.
Right.
My friend Rob. Barbara, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be here that Monday. I know exactly where I will be on that particular Monday morning at 9:00. She's looking at him. Where are you going to be? I will be on an aircraft on my way out here because I'm not giving up another Sunday. I will not do it. My son has a swim meet. I'm not missing it. I've done too much of this. It's not happening. I'm sitting there, Rich, and I was very close friends with Rob, in addition to being colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Rob, what did you just do? What did you just do? She is going to rip you up, Rob. All self-talk. Oh, you know what, Rob? That makes sense. That's not fair to you guys. Let's start Tuesday. And I was like, man, you had the guts to speak up, Rob. Thank you, because I didn't. Right. I didn't, and you did. Thank you.
Wow. I don't understand why people are. I do understand why some people are afraid to speak up. I mean, I would have never done that in any of the businesses I worked at, but I was taught that in the Marine Corps.
Right.
You have to speak up.
That's right. That's right.
And just so many different. I think a lot of people are scared too. They're afraid that what if I get fired? Well, okay. As the business's loss, that's not your loss.
Rich, I've got to take you back to Stephen Covey again.
Mm-hmm.
He made a comment during that Friday Q&A session that I will never forget. I was sitting next to this guy who was a vice president of a manufacturing company in Wisconsin. Stephen, he raises his hand. Stephen, I've got a problem. He said, the senior leaders of my organization, they talk the talk, they don't walk the walk. And he said, I'm calling them out on their behavior and a lot of other things. And he said, I am deeply, deeply concerned that I'm about to lose my job. What do you think I should do? Stephen asks him, are you a man of integrity? Are you a man of principle? Yes. Okay. I will work on that assumption. If you lose your job because of this, and you are indeed a man of principle and a man of integrity, I guarantee you something. And when I heard the word guarantee, my ears opened a little wider. He said, I guarantee you won't be out of work long. And I was like, whoa, that was really good. And I believe that. I really do. It's like, Ron, I see that, you were fired from this last job. Yeah, I was. And you know what? I'm proud of that. I'm proud because I spoke my mind. It wasn't in an environment where I could thrive, and so it's better. It's better that I'm not there, and I
Hmm.
hope I can thrive here. Let's talk about what the environment is like here, so it's a win-win.
I, I are you sure we're not twins? And I think it's just the way both you and I were brought up,
Yes,
and
very much
everything
so.
we learned along the way, and are still learning.
Right.
And I'm sure, and you mentioned the reading. How often do you even go back and read those old books that you've read before?
I will. I'll
Yeah,
go.
me
I
too.
will go. I will go back and review. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's something that a lot of people are missing. Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you actually go to different businesses. And people can hire you to come speak and train them, right?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
All right. So this is something I'd love to ask, Ron, because I keep going back to that one woman that was afraid to talk to the employee, but I'm not going back to that. Can you share one or two feel-good stories about somebody that you've talked to, that you've helped, where when you first met them, you were like, wow, this is going to be a hard one. And then they just turned around completely, or really surprised you?
Not so much a turnaround story,
Mm-hmm.
Rich. What I will share with you, one of the greatest times of my career was when I worked for a pharmaceutical company.
Mm.
And my colleague Dave and I were completely responsible for the Future Leaders program there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And it was so much fun. And it just was. We put so many different people through that.
Mm-hmm.
And this was 20, 23, 24 years ago, whatever it was. I still talk to people now who have told me, Ron, I still use everything you taught on it. Not everything. I am still using things you taught us in that class all those years ago. That's what it's all
Wow.
about. That's what it's all about. And again, Rich, one of the biggest things here too is the stuff that you and I are talking about here is not the flavor of the month.
Right.
These are principles that are timeless. Like Stephen Covey says, feedback, you've got to deliver it. It needs to be behavioral feedback. How do
Mm-hmm.
you listen well? By being a translator. Listen carefully. That's not going to change. 1 year, 4 months, and 87 days from now, oh, no, no, no. Now you need to listen differently. Here's how you listen. No.
Mm-mm.
And I think that's one of the things that people are missing. It's just like these are the basics, and people need the basics right up front. And everybody needs it. It's not just the leaders.
Yeah. All right. So you mentioned Stephen Covey, and we mentioned Dale Carnegie, and I think I mentioned Napoleon Hill. If not, God, why didn't I? Uh, but I mean, to me, three of the greatest ones that you can learn from. Can you tell us three other ones that I would say leaders really should read their books, or even go back and watch those lectures? I know I think Napoleon Hill, you can even still find his old lectures on video.
I am a big fan of Patrick Lencioni's work. Do you know Patrick at all?
No. Uh-uh.
Patrick Lencioni, 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 something like that.
Okay.
He's written a bunch of different books. Most of them are fables. They're
Okay.
easy, fun reads. He has a great book on time management. He has a great book on team dysfunction. He's got stuff on. He wrote a book called The Advantage, which
Okay.
is all about essentially team culture and what team cultures are all about and mission statements. I
Mhm.
love his work. I mean, he's wonderful. One of the other gurus that I like.
Okay.
It just, again, point being, the book that I'm recommending is Leading at a Higher Level.
Okay.
And it talks all about situational leadership. When do you delegate? When do you need to coach? When do you need to direct people? It talks a lot about recognition in there. That's well worth it. Leading at a higher level, and the name is still not coming to me, and that irritates me. Ken Blanchard. Ken Blanchard.
Oh yes, yeah. Okay. All right. How can leaders actually help people grow without feeling like they're micromanaging?
For me, one of the big things is when you're confident that they can do the job,
Mm-hmm.
give them the freedom, give them the rope, and as they continue to grow, make sure you are praising them, make sure you are recognizing them, and that way, and essentially, really just leave them the heck alone. Just leave them alone. And I mean, I remember, Rich, again, going back to my very early days when I worked at Toshiba, that was when I first got into training and development. I did a lot of sales training. I'm going to be doing my first advanced sales training class. Jack Landry was my boss. He and I went through the material meticulously because, I mean, I was really nervous about this. I was a kid. I didn't have a whole lot of experience and all this other stuff. It's like, Jack, can you be in the room with me? Ron, I cannot give you 3 days. There is no way in the world I can do that. He said, I'll try to be there most of day one. Okay, I'll take anything you give me.
Right.
So he was there most of day one. We talked it through. You did a really good job, Ron. Great. Here are a couple things you want to revise and so forth. Okay, Jack, how about tomorrow? Ron, I am really, really busy. I'll pop in here and there. He did. Same thing. Ron, good job. I just noticed a couple of small things. How about tomorrow, Jack? Ron, I'll pop in here and there. We started at 8:30. About 10 after 9, whatever it was, I always remember, the door opens to the training room. Jack walks in. He's in the back. I'm up front. He's looking at me. He just smiled. And he walked out. He just walked out. And it's like, cut it out, Ron. You don't need me. I got better things to do. And ultimately, what he was doing was delegating to me, which was wonderful, except he also knew I was ready for that.
Right. I'm looking at the time, and there's one question I've been dying to ask you. And we mentioned the reading and everything. But when it comes to leaders, managers are leaders. We know it's important to read. We know it's important to take these, to actually have somebody coach you like you, Ron. But also, because when I think of leaders, I also think of more than one employee that they're leading.
Sure.
Do you also feel that it's important for good leaders to possibly take some other types of classes, whether it be public speaking?
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh God, the other one just went right out of my mind, right out of my head. But like public speaking and other things like that.
There's no getting around it. And I'll go back to, again, the guy I mentioned earlier for just a minute, my friend, my mentor, Rich Michaels. Okay. We did a class together in Boston, and everything had wrapped up. We were in the cab heading to the airport. He was flying back down to Florida, and I'm coming back down to Newark. Ron, good job as always. We're chatting and everything else. He goes, I want you to do something. Okay, Rich, what? He said, I want you to take a presentation course. He said, you're really good, Ron. You're really good. I think you can get even better. And I denied to nobody. I was a little offended. I really, because my ego and just everything else, like, what do you mean, Rich? It was one of the greatest things he ever did for me, ever. What I learned from that, and again, I learned how to make good eye contact. I learned how to, work with an audience. I learned how to use my notes properly, and just all these other things, and the confidence it has given me, and the credibility it has enhanced my credibility. So
Yeah.
absolutely, it's outside of just the soft skills. There's no two ways about that.
You mentioned something earlier too, which and I forgot that. I don't even know if there's a lot of them around anymore. But the Future Leaders of America, Future Leaders program. Are you still seeing a lot of them, or have they dwindled down?
They've dwindled.
Why?
They have
come on,
really
people.
really dwindled. And I'll tell you, I think, and I can't be sure about this because I don't know if I don't know it as a fact.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this for a long time, and I say very very proudly, and based on our conversation, I think I have the credibility with you to say it. I'm very good at what I do.
Oh yeah.
And I say that very very proudly, and I charge what I'm worth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do. And again, I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm the cat's meow, and therefore, my point though, I had a couple of conversations with a company in New Jersey recently.
Mm-hmm.
She said, would you send me an outline of what you do and so forth? Sure, please include your fee structure. I did, and she's been putting me off and putting me off and putting me off, and I think her concern is the money. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. If you're not willing to pay for it, then if you can find somebody with whom you're comfortable, go for it. And I'm not going to sit here and say who's better than me, because that's not what I mean. My point though is you find somebody that knows what he or she is doing, and you're gonna, my God, you can't go wrong. It's the best investment you'll ever make.
Right. Yeah. I think maybe every chamber should have something like that, a Future Leaders program.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to me. And also with leaders, how important is it I know it's important for business owners, but for the leaders themselves to be part of a mastermind group?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's to me that's where, I don't know it all. I will never know it all. And that's one of the fun things, is just to be able to share information, to get information from other people. And I think, it's so interesting because one of the things I like to do, particularly when I'm doing an AMA class, these are people typically that don't know each other. They're from different companies. The opening activity simply is, I want you to take the next 20, 30 minutes, start introducing yourselves to each other. Your name, your role, your company, a passion you have, a challenge you hope to address. Fine. So they'll do that. They'll talk.
Right.
The debrief. How does this opening activity help us to work together over the next few days? And everybody, without fail, oh my goodness, I'm not alone. I thought my challenges were unique and they're not. Oh my goodness, I feel like I know the people in this room now, and we've only been together a half an hour. And, we can talk to each other. I feel like I can open up to people. And it's those kinds of things. And it's about building those relationships.
Yeah. And it's another great way to learn. Another great. A couple of the mastermind groups I'm in, oh my God, we could sit there and talk for hours.
Yeah.
But of course we can't, because then we wouldn't get any work done.
Right.
But we've learned so much from each other. And it's, I think it's important for everybody to be a part of one. If someone listening wants to become a better leader starting today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, today, what's one behavior they should start or stop right away?
I've been asked this before, and I'm a huge New York Giant football fan. I have.
I'm sorry.
Hey, we just grabbed your coach.
You know what?
Man, and we are happy
Oh, I bet you are. We're not.
I
Well,
can
let me
imagine.
rephrase that. I'm not.
Yeah.
But at least you're not a Steelers fan, so you're
Right.
okay.
I've been a season ticket holder for many, many years.
Mhm.
We were tailgating quite a few years ago. One of the guys in our group, Peter, came up to me, CFO for a technology company in the city. Hey, Mr. Leadership Development Man, give me one tip. Throw me the one tip that can make me the best leader possible. I'm like, all right, Peter, go have another beer and let me think about it for a minute or two.
That's a good tip, though.
And yeah, my point to him was, and my point here truly, Peter, if you're going to limit me to one tip, it would be get to know yourself extraordinarily well. Because the better you know yourself, the more effectively you will work with other people.
Wow. Wow. That is a great answer. Oh, wow. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
But you're right. 110%. You are right. All right. So, Ron, something very important. How do people get in touch with you?
Probably the best way, LinkedIn.
Okay.
Just go through LinkedIn, reach out. And again, Rich, one of the things I always say here, and I mean it, anybody who wants to reach out, I will gladly have a conversation with you. And it is not going to be a sales pitch. It's not going to be, oh, I can't share that with you unless we work together or whatever.
Right.
Just reach out. Let's talk about anything that's going on with you, for you. And if we decide to work together, wonderful. If not, I'll still help you any way I can.
In other words, these people should not be afraid to speak up and ask.
That's exactly right. That's a good way to put it. I like that.
All right. So, Ron, before I get to my last question, is there anything you would like to add?
No, this has been fun. It really, really has. I've enjoyed this.
Me too. And a matter of fact, I'm gonna go get my Stephen Covey book and go back and read them. So, all right. So here, I don't know what the question is going to be, so you're going to have to pick it. But first, pick a number between 1 and 5.
2.
2. All right. So let me go to that block. Now pick a number between 21 and 40.
33.
These questions somehow or another seem to always line up with what we've been talking about. And actually, this is a good question. You said 33. Similar to what I just asked you, but in a way it's not. What is a simple piece of wisdom you often return to?
Something I use on a daily basis, and I'm not making this religious, that's not my intent here, is the serenity prayer.
Ooh.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I've learned over the years, I spend my time as best I possibly can on the things over which I have control. The things over which I have no control, I just let them go. Again, as best as I know how. Do I do it all the time? No, of course not. I've gotten much, much better at it, though.
Right.
And that's something I return to on a daily basis.
It makes you feel good, too, doesn't it?
Sure does.
I love that. Ron, I want to thank you so much. The door is always open anytime you want to come back. Also,
thank you.
When you make it down here, if you ever make it down to Maryland, look me up, because I know in New Jersey, you guys don't get good crabs.
No.
So we'll have to go out. We'll get some good crabs. If you like seafood, we'll get some good crabs.
Okay.
Or even pit beef, because there's nothing better than Maryland pit beef. I mean, I'm trying to think what's good in Jersey besides, no, wait a minute. No, that wasn't even Jersey. Something about that Freehold exit. I don't know if there's a coffee plant there or not, but every time I took that exit, it smelled like coffee.
Really?
Yes. I don't know what it was.
Huh. I don't know.
I'm trying to think, what food-wise, what is Jersey known for?
Jersey tomatoes. We have a lot of farms.
Oh, the Roma tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. I was instructed about that by an Italian friend of mine. Ron, thanks a lot.
Oh, Rich, it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something from it as I did. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps us reach more listeners and share more incredible stories. Don't forget to connect with us on social media or visit our website at conversationswithrichbennett.com for updates, giveaways, and more. Until next time, take care, be kind, and keep the conversations going. You know, it takes a lot to put a podcast together, and my sponsors help out a lot, but I also have some supporters that actually help me when it comes to the editing software, the hosting, and so forth. There's a lot that goes into putting this together. So I want to thank them. And if you can, please visit their websites, visit their businesses, support them however you can. So please visit the following. Full Circle Boards. Nobody does charcuterie like Full Circle Boards. Visit them at fullcircleboards.com. Sincerely Sawyer Photography. Live in the moment. They'll capture it. Visit them at sincerelysawyer.com. The Joppatown Lions Club, serving the community since 1965. Visit them at joppatownlionsclub.org. And don't forget the E at the end of Joppatown, because they're extraordinary.